Let me know when you go live.
I just booted up live.
Okay. All right, let me deafen again so I can hear better on that end.
All right, Colt, how is the audio sounding on your end? Is it too loud?
Poo poo pee pee.
If you're saying anything, you also muted yourself, so I can't hear you and I don't have Twitch open.
You're slightly soft.
I am slightly soft. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How about now? How does it sound after I turned my mic gain up?
You are still at the same volume. Unfortunately, the mic is picking up whatever vibration is going on around it.
What vibration? There is no vibration.
It's picking up something. At least that's what I heard.
Could have been the cars outside.
Wait, maybe it was the cars outside or something?
Maybe.
How does it sound now? Is it picking up vibration?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, let me try turning up the gain filter for my audio input. How about now, Colt?
Better.
Okay.
You are definitely softer through your Twitch recording. I know that.
Yeah, but when I talk now, OBS is like, oh my god, everything's in the red. Oh no.
I mean, your voice is clear and fine, so...
But I don't want it to be clear. I want it to be louder.
I don't know what to tell you on that, other than either it's a setting on OBS's end in its internal guts where maybe your volume mixer is low for OBS, and that's why it sounds low.
Maybe?
Okay. Mm-hmm. I will be right back, though. I'm just going to refill my water real quickly.
Refill these nuts.
Stop it. You gotta get it out because you haven't been online in a few days.
Accurate.
I get that though. I get the need to have your have the zoomies.
All right, so I don't think I actually get anything other than an additional spell slot for leveling up, unless I'm missing something.
I just want the number at the top of your player page to say 3.
Yeah, check now. Should be caught up.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I have my water. In the game momentarily. Okay.
I messed with a couple more things. I don't know if it'll fix it or not, but it sounds fine on Twitch on my end, so I don't know.
I don't know either. So the only thing I can think of would be is if I had my volume mixer down, but then my voice wouldn't be as loud.
Man, I don't know. This is why I'm not a professional streamer. Too much bullshit to have to go through.
Just making a quick spell selection here, and then I'm good. I'm gonna have to join the tabletop.
Look at that. We got a fancy new landing page. Wow.
I'm gonna take Shatter because eventually I'm gonna get Disintegration, and I want so much PTSD among the group.
No, no.
I love you.
So much PTSD.
I love you, but at this exact moment, fuck you.
I am so sad. I don't want to play with John anymore. He's trying to do feel things.
Listen, I get it. I love Shatter. I think Shatter is great. Disintegration, I have a hate-love relationship with that spell now because of all that.
I think it was great. Fuck Nocris.
All right, should be synced. Let's get roll 20. Okay. Joining the tabletop. Rar Dragon. I'm in the game. I have my character sheet open. I'm leveled up to level 3. I have cameras turned on. I have them on voice activated. I'm ready to go.
Oh my god, you're so prepared.
Trying to be. I mean, as you can tell behind me.
Oh, I have to do video pop out. Where the fuck is that button? There it is. There we go.
Drop, pop, and lock it.
Well, welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
Woo!
Happy to be here.
Is everybody ready to begin?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Phenomenal. Then, last we left off, you all were exiting Nomengard with the spoils of a verbal victory.
Yeah, it was the the mimic whisperer.
That you were. The mimic is supposedly gone, at least having fooled you all. And the gay kings decided to amply reward you uh, and send you on your way. So we're going to start this session as you travel back to Vandalen.
Mhm.
Can everybody see the Sword Coast?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yarp has a pretty
Phenomenal.
green background too.
Good. It doesn't for me for some reason, which is kind of irksome. It's like every time I come back to this page, it's supposed to because I said it to, but then it
Mhm.
just goes glaring white, and my retinas are like, "Why are you doing this to me?" Anyway, so Nomengard to Fandalen, we'll say about 15 miles, give or take an extra mile.
Mhm.
Would you all like to rest before your travels? We'll say that the time is roughly mid-afternoon. 15 miles is not that huge of a distance. So you could feasibly make it to Fandalen before nightfall, although it might be close.
Thorn is still okay. Thorn does not need to rest, but if other people want to rest, it's okay.
Reginald needs no rest, especially among the flora and fauna.
Flora and fauna of deranged rock gnomes.
Accurate.
He wants to GTFO. Lionel is good to continue as well.
Phenomenal. Well, you begin your trek, leaving Nomengard behind, the dull roar of the waterfall fading into the distance. The mountains, the Sword Mountains, begin to fade a little bit, and sunlight again hits you as you leave their shadows. Rounding around a little bit to the west, going past Umbridge Hollow, something happens.
Dun dun dun.
Let's see. As you all are traveling, you can see a small building, if you want to call it that. It's more of a shack. It is tucked up against the hillside, uh, about middle of the hill.
Mhm.
We'll say that you all are about right there, right next to Umbridge Hollow, that little shack, and in front of you, a little bit to the north, you notice that where the hills uh, sort of convene that miniature valley, there is a lot of trampled grass, as if a new road has been formed, or the beginnings of one. And as you approach, because it is directly in your path, it is about uh, a single cart's width, a single cartload in width, so about, the size of two horses. Trampled grass all around, as if people were walking along the cart. The grass in the center has been turned into near trampled mud from the passing of a large group of, well, something. And I say something because as you grow closer, you notice that the only footprints you actually recognize are that of the horses. Everything else seems to be three or four toed with long toes. Phalanges.
Digits.
Are these footprints that Thorn would recognize?
Actually, yes. Almost immediately you recognize them, having lived in the jungles of your hometown for what? How old are you again? 7 or 12. I
7 or
forget the number.
12.
Or 12. Somewhere in between. 5 years.
You know, over
That's a bit of a
half your
difference.
yeah, over half your lifespan. I guess span isn't the correct word, but either way, years have taught you that the varied persons of lizard folk and their footprints, having tracked through your jungles, being taught by your mother, you recognize these footprints. Additionally, near where you're at, it catches your eye because of the bright colors. You see a shield. It is either bone or wood. It's hard for you to tell because it is so weathered. But the paint on it is extremely vibrant. And if you'll give me 1 second, I will attempt to reveal this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, friends are gonna get eaten.
I swear to the gods, Reginald, if we find another body of one of your associates here, it's not a good look for you.
So that is the symbol on the shields. Thorn, you are intimately familiar with this symbol. The rest of you wouldn't recognize it. However, it is very clear that the tracks that you are coming across are headed in a southwesterly direction.
I think that Thorn, upon seeing these things in front of her and seeing the symbol and the footprints, immediately goes over to investigate. And is like, there's, just a lot of like sniffing and like touching the footprints to see how fresh they are. A lot of like what would equate to tracking. Like she's just kind of getting intel on these tracks. And she kind of like sits up a little bit and she looks very confused. Thorn doesn't know why these are here.
Please roll me a survival check.
It's my one for the night. It's my one nat 20.
Everybody gets one.
Debatable. I don't think I got one yet.
Having made your way here in the opposite direction less than a day ago, early this morning, in fact, you know that these footprints, you could have only just missed them. They are about the same age as yours would have been if you had come across them going to Nomengard. Minutes, tops, that you missed a convergence of traveling lizard folk.
Well, if you don't know why these are here, then I don't know. I don't quite know what else to make of it.
What's with the symbol on the bone? Wood? Bone? Wood? I don't know. The shield.
Thorn's tail starts like thumping. Like she's like wagging her tail, but it's just hitting the ground and like a tree and like anything near her. She's got like happy tail right now. And she points to it, and she points to like the bottom of her walk, which has like a very rudimentary copy of that symbol. This is where Thorn is from.
Oh, so friends?
Family. Big fam, lots of family. And she goes to look at, she looks at all of the footprints again. Don't
Yes.
normally come this way, though.
Why would your family be coming this way then?
She shrugs. Thorn just said she doesn't know why they're here.
Is your family friendly?
Depends on who asks. Family is good at bartering, family trades, family hunts.
Okay. Could be worse.
Family won't eat you if I tell them not. If Thorn tells them not to.
Oh, okay. So we need
I
to make sure
would
we have proper
greatly
introductions.
appreciate that. Yes.
Listen, I'm still dealing with the fact that a moth licked me not more than like 3 hours ago. I'd rather not repeat that.
We should go see family. Weird that family is here, though. She like immediately starts like sniffing the ground, trying to figure out which, like which of her family members could possibly be here.
Thorn, you recognize that usually a movement of this many lizard folk either means great threat or a great hunt.
Could be good, could be bad.
Well, I suppose we had best see to it then. At least determine is it good or bad.
Now, you said they were heading southwest. Southwest as in map orientation southwest, or southwest in the direction that we're heading?
You are headed northwest.
Okay.
They are headed southwest, as in the
The map
dwarven
orientation.
excavation to the Mirror
Okay.
of Dead Men.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Well, they're kind of completely out of our way back to Fandalen if we really need to go and see them.
No, they're not far. They're very close. Minutes. And she like she kind of walks over and she takes Lionel's hand like she took Reginald's. And she like leads him over to the tracks and she starts like pointing stuff out.
No. When I said minutes, I meant that you meant
Before.
Yes.
Oh, that sucks. Okay.
It's-
Never mind.
It's been about 8 hours since then.
Okay. Retconning that then.
Well then.
Relatively close-ish.
8 minutes, 8 hours.
Again, we gotta work on your time understanding.
Thorn knows time.
Plus or minus 5 years.
Yeah.
Mm. I mean,
Family only travels like this. Big danger or big hunt. Either very good or very bad. We should probably find out which.
I'm not against it. Family is family.
It would give me some opportunities for new areas of study, I suppose, yes.
I kind of lean into Reginald. Unless, we'd actually get to see if she was adopted or not.
Well, my money's on yes, but we'll wait. We'll wait until we get there.
Thorn hears none of that, because obviously you're whispering. But she does kind of like look at, she like squints at Reginald. What do you mean new areas?
Well, my particular expertise is not very well now expansive within the realm of lizard folk, so it could be quite beneficial to learn and document more of lizard folk's kind and
Why?
culture.
Thorn is lizard folk. You got all the
Well,
lizard
yeah.
folk you need right here.
Oh, yeah, fair point.
Thorn is
fair.
the best lizard folk.
Well, okay.
I know, just steps back and lets Reginald explain all of this. It is just looking at him like, well. She
In a
said
matter
so.
of comparison, it's difficult to properly know without a second lizard folk to compare against, you see.
Still like squinting at him.
He just needs to see how you interact with others of your ilk and your family to understand the culture better. That's all. He knows you're the best lizard folk there is, but he wants to see all the different nuances that happen between you and another lizard folk.
Okay, let's
Yes.
go. And she takes Reginald's hand and she'll start walking him down the path towards where her family's going.
Well, away we
Mom.
go. Yes.
Mom's gonna like you.
Mom's gonna
Like you. Lionel is thinking like as in like him as a person, or potentially
As a
like
snack.
as in like him as a snack. A snack. Well, that brings even more questions.
Yep. This is where D is like, I was not prepared for any of this to happen when we get there.
I literally
God
just said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've done it.
All right. Off the rails. Here we go.
Three.
So, you all are turning southwest. The sun now back in your faces as you, well, I guess it's a little bit off to the right. It's fine. It's whatever. But you follow in line of this path that's been created for you, which honestly kind of expedites your travel a little bit. And you see a familiar sight as you travel for about an hour, maybe two. And you see the dwarven excavation. The base of the mountain where this dwarven excavation is. You recognize it before. You've been here once before, and it's pretty hard to miss, honestly, once you know what you're looking for. These tracks seem to convene in the mouth of the cave of that of the dwarven excavation. And as you approach, you can hear the clatter and clanging of various personas, the wails, screechings of children. They don't sound right, though. Uh, there's something definitely a little bit weird going on for Lionel and Reginald. Thorn, however, hears familiar voices, is awash with, home, honestly. The smells that hit your nose of roasted jungle fauna hit you squarely in that home feeling right in your chest, and as you round the bend and enter the cave, you see them. This is almost everybody from your tribe.
That's a lot of people.
So, as we see this important question, obviously, are they all like Thorn, or is she vastly different from the others?
This will take a minute to answer.
This is for science, after all.
Right.
So most of these lizard folk are bigger than you. They range
Oh boy.
anywhere from 4 feet tall to 8 or 9 feet tall. Some of the brutes, and you know that these are considered brutes of the species because they actually have 4 arms. They're not just lizard folk. They are a higher breed of lizard folk. Reginald, you just from your training on lizard folk know that that's actually a worrying sign because 4-armed lizard folk, are inherently violent and have a tendency to take over. But these ones are totally docile. These ones have been, you can tell just as you approach, they do not regard you with any sense of, oh, you're an outlander or anything. They almost welcome you, but you are nothing special to them. They are totally in the midst of just a move, and it almost seems a little nonchalant for such a large group of threatening individuals. Because let's be honest, to a human, an elf, a dwarf, a gnome, a lizard folk is threatening, right?
Yup. Normally.
That are totally peaceful. They have arms, they have weapons. As you approach, you actually walk past a set of 8 heavily armed lizard folk that are just nonchalantly brandishing halberds made of wood and bone and a few iron. There's not very many. There seems to be a very strong, almost druidic presence in the way they arm themselves and dress themselves. But for the most part, you're allowed through. Description wise, for colors and all of that, most of what you see are the greens and browns. Occasionally, a lizard folk will have a neck spine reminiscent of the top fin of a fish that is a bright orange color. But honestly, you look at Thorn, and Lionel, maybe you don't know from your Nat 1 perception check last time,
Yup.
but Reginald, you know. You definitely know that something's different about Thorn. That she resembles more lizard folk at this point than she does really a kobold. But hard to place. But as you approach, the guards there, they eye you, they look you up and down, and they just wave you on through. Seeing Thorn, you get a friendly greeting from one of your siblings, probably the eldest. Um, Very tall, brawny-looking lizard folk who actually has dark brown scales instead of the green that permeates your family. But you walk through. The Nomengard has been transformed. I'm sorry, not Nomengard. The Dwarven excavation has been absolutely transformed. It is just uh, al- alive with activities. There are these young, they almost look like hatchlings, lizard folk, darting to and fro, playing amongst the stones in such a new area. Uh, they look so out of place in all of this stone. In the center of God, no, I did it again. The Dwarven excavation. Apologize. Let me.
All good.
Can I remove the fog of war from? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Almost put y'all on the Dwarven excavation because I'm an idiot. Can y'all see?
Yeah.
Yarp.
Awesome. So, in that first area past the doors, that's where you found everybody, or the guards rather. But in that first area it's just like I said, alive with activity. This center little area, there is a large wagon where it seems like an entire hut has just been dragged away from the jungle and brought here. It is surrounded. The cart itself is just made of a thorny branch that supports via inordinately long thorns. This canvas that goes up and over to house what you can only assume to be a very important individual to these lizard folk, because whoever this person is, they are protected by literal thorns that got put on wheels. And as you make your way inside, Thorn, you are greeted by innumerable voices, hails and hellos. Your parents, however, are either nowhere to be found or are simply missing. But as somebody calls out to you, you hear a very familiar voice. She is not here.
Thorn immediately stands a little bit straighter and any dirt that she's had kind of on her face or on her hands, she immediately starts brushing off and patting off. Oh, we should go see her. Quickly.
Oh. Okay. I let Thorn lead. She knows what the hell she's doing, and this is a lot of her family. Lionel comes from a big family, but goddamn.
Lionel, you get the sense that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, this entire village might as well just be one big family.
Yeah.
Um, you've you've seen it before in tight knit communities where the elderly get left behind with the younglings to raise while the adults go off to work. It's a community effort, but it has really taken us a root and developed its own soul inside of this. Uh, what do you call a group of lizard folk? A clutch?
Good work.
In this tribe. But a gnarled staff juts out of this canvas. And a very old and hunched figure makes her way down off the wagon, stepping heavily. There's a weight behind every step that she takes, and two of the guards that are stationed there, one of them turns to Neil and offers a hand, while the other one stamps his wooden pike on the stone, and you just hear the loud thud of the just from the strength of it, and the whole little the whole cave system seems to quiet down a little bit. Yubaba speaks, and Yubaba, as she is called, approaches you, Thorn.
Thorn bows her head respectfully. It is good to see you again, Yubaba.
And you are with weird company. What are you doing, child?
Finding good food. And alms. And she takes the little box out and she shakes it.
Yubaba immediately snatches it from you. These will make excellent donations to someone, yeah. But you are here on business. I can sense it. What brings you, child?
More curiosity than business. Why is family here? Why is family not home? It's dangerous here.
Yubaba gives a very deep sigh. For a very brief moment, you see her as the parental figure that you had known for so long, before the shamanistic side of her takes back over. The jungle is no longer safe, child. You've been gone overly long. The dragon comes, and it converts those of lesser will, demanding that they follow or be killed. So we left.
Thorn kind of peeks around the corner, like peeks around you, Baba, and like looks at the inside of the of the excavation. There were dwarves here. What happened? There was 2. Did you eat them?
No. When we arrived at this cave, it was empty.
Oh, good. I hope they left. Thorn hopes they left. And then she kind of like looks back at her companions. We've heard of the dragon. I guess we're kind of on a mission to maybe go fight it. And she kind of like squints at them because there was like talks about that sort of, but like it was very in passing, and it was just more like a hey, do you want to eat dragon meat?
Lionel just looks to Reginald like, well, this is your shtick.
Lionel, I apologize. You are unable to look at anything. There was a hush that took over, and while Thorn and Yubaba have been speaking, you have been bombarded by children.
Oh no.
They are hanging on you. They are clawing their way up you. One is on one shoulder, just pulling on your hair. You have what you can only assume to be a little girl gripping your thigh, looking at you like you are just dinner.
Are they speaking? And do I understand them?
They are-
Don't shut up.
They are chattering so much that I'm actually going to have you make a wisdom save to keep up with it.
Oh god. Oh no. Not this. Not this again. I know this type of chatter. It's not good.
You are wise.
Nope.
You are not wise.
No, I'm not. I am smart. There is a difference.
Try as you might, you cannot keep up with the conversation, and one of the bigger children actually takes you out from behind and drops you to one knee by throwing the entire weight of his body into into the back of your legs.
Okay. What? Apples? Scales? Brown? Red?
The other ones are just all dogpiling you, squealing with delight. You can't tell if you're being bit though, or like they are lizard folk. They have teeth and claws in place of fingers and mouths. So you may not you don't know whether or not to fear for your life or not. Reginald's watching this as the children eye Reginald, but he seems a little bit more intimidating. Or is it that he just looks more breakable?
Nobody knows. With the claws and the teeth, I think Lionel is in some cases used to it, considering he's a shifter and some of his younger siblings could shift from a very early age, so he's aware of kind of what this might be, but at the same time he's not used to being a constant thing. So it's like it feels like it's an overstimulation, and I think what I am going to do is I would like to try and stand up and shift to kind of get their attention and hopefully get off me for a second so I can actually stand.
Grapple check.
Let's take this. Let's take this by stride, okay? You want to stand up.
Yes, I want to try.
Lizard folk are dense. Make a strength check.
Oh no, another thing I'm not great at.
I know, buddy.
Roll a 1.
Close.
That's pretty far away from a 1.
The
It's
DC.
single digits.
Yeah, I was thinking of making like DM guide tells you 10's an easy check, 15's a you have to kind of know what you're doing check, 20's a hard check, all right?
Yep. Yeah.
And you didn't make the easy check.
Nope.
You go to stand up, and like as they see you try, it's like hold on, let me roll the dice for this. Four more just pile on top of you, and you are just it's almost like being restrained. You were just brought to the ground under pounds and pounds of lizard folk.
I think when he tries to get up and then falls down and is just squished there, he's just gonna little help. Not used to this many.
Thorn grins as wide as a fucking kobold can possibly grin.
Oh no.
And she looks at the kids and she looks at you, Baba, and she says, just loud enough so that the kids can hear over their own din. That one likes to turn into a skunk man.
Savage.
And then she'll look at Reginald. He likes to write stuff. He's writing a book about Thorn.
Yubaba clicks her lizard-like tongue. And through that simple gesture, you know she is demanding your attention again. How dare you pay attention to anybody but Yubaba when she is speaking?
Thorn hears the noise, and I think she instinctually ducks.
There is a low.
Good, I'm not the only one getting shit on.
Well, it seems that the lessons have at least held their place. She taps her staff very lightly against the stone. Oh, the unruly. She snaps her fingers, and one of the four-armed brutes stamps up. And she waves at Lionel's, where Lionel would be if there wasn't a mound of child there. And four children get plucked off, then four more with ahs and and an occasional wee as a few of them just get thrown. And then Lionel, you yourself feel a giant clawed hand grab you around your entire rib cage, lift you up, and place you down.
Thank
They
you.
like you.
I noticed.
He sniffs you. You don't smell like skunk.
Not
What?
skunk.
He's not a skunk right now. He was before, though.
Not a skunk.
Oh, excuse me, skunk man.
No.
The brute turns to stand before Reginald in his full 9 feet plus height. And he's just looking down at this, in comparison, frail looking elf. And you are not even a snack. And he looks at you, Thorn. And Thorn, you recognize this as one of your older brothers. And you are taking on a dragon?
We are. Thorn's gonna eat it.
That will be a mighty feast. We should celebrate this hunt. Yubaba shakes her head. There is no time for celebrations, children. We must make our way to the swamp, where we will be safe.
Yes, family protection comes first. You should follow Yubaba.
Lionel just kind of doesn't say anything, but kind of nods more to himself than anyone, agreeing with Thorn wholeheartedly.
Yubaba leans down over Thorn giving Thorn a flick of her reptilian tongue, a gesture of uh, lizard folk appreciation and love, before turning back and saying, Simwanya only blesses those fit for survival, such as yourself. See to it his blessing is not wasted by an over-eager adventure into death.
We will prepare, Yubaba. Thank you. Where's Mom? Where's Dad?
The Kmotes decided to stay behind to secure our village for the trek back. They are our most capable hunters, you know this. And you also know that they are designed solely to defend the village. It will be there when we get back. Of that, we can be assured. I only hope that they are too. With that kind of somber statement, she walks back into her hut to perform unknown Semwanian rituals with the alms gifted to her by her paladin.
Paladin.
The alms box, when she flicked you on the forehead, she returned to you empty.
That's fine. I think I kind of like watch her go and then bow my head respectfully as she disappears. Then I turn back to my friends. That was Yubaba!
Yes, noted. Noted, yes. She seems to carry quite a bit of sway among the community here.
Your brother, you remember his name as Korea, kneels next to Reginald. We do not insult nor question the leader of the shamans, the leadership of the shamans. It is our way.
Well, of course, yes. I meant no offense.
He puts up his hand and says, No, 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 write that down.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Observant as fuck, that one. Scary.
He watches you too. He's like totally keen on watching you write. You get the impression that Thorn gets her observation skills from this one.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Only 9 feet.
Yeah, 9 feet compared to like 3, 4.
Plus or minus 5 years, right?
Yeah, plus or minus 5 feet.
Korea, come here.
Korea stands back up to his full height and lumbers thong, 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 over to you.
I kind of like look up at him, and I mean Thorn is like I don't even think Thorn needs like 3 feet. Like she's super small. And she just kind of like looks up at him, and she like puts her hands on her hips for a minute and like looks at him, and then she kind of like reaches up and like wiggles her fingers a little bit, kind of like come down here.
Thorn, you know how hard this is for me. And he leans forward, and 2 of his arms brace him, but down on the ground. So he's like, I mean, he's almost laying down to get down to you.
Not my fault. You're so big. And she starts. She starts like like brushing off all of the like dust and dirt from the ruins that he's somehow accumulated on his scales. Mom said you had to start taking better care of yourself.
There's a gleeful and familial glint in his eye that only you recognize. And what's your armor class? One of his forearms swoops forward to snatch you up, and he tosses you into the air and catches you with his other one, and he says, "It is hard to just take care of myself when there's so many like you around, little one."
Thorn is like Thorn is not like this, but it's very much like little sister. Why are you fucking with me? Kind of not liking. Like she's just kind of done with it. And she just she loudly says, "This is why you don't have a girlfriend, Corio."
Oof. Harsh.
Damn.
This is why you get relegated to kid duty.
Well, that's just savage, Thorn. And he rolls you up in his forearms. he's basically crushing you, and he says, "Mom and Dad say it's because I'm so big." And he just plops you down on the ground in front of you, turning around and flicking you with his tail as he starts lumbering off, and says, "It's good to see you again, though."
You too, brother. Be safe. Take them down to the swamp safe.
For comparison's sake, Korea is in fact the largest reptile here. Um, there was one four-armed guard at the entrance of the cave, and there is another one just milling about. The other two are probably about 7 or 8 feet, but Korea definitely stands like head and shoulders above everyone here. His arms, in fact, are, I mean, they are your full torso, shoulder width. You know, like he could, if he picked you up, it would be nothing. Think hill giant type strength. This dude is fucking built. So, but he does lumber off, and all of the children, they're scrambling up his tail, and he just walks with them like they're nothing. And having now borne the weight of a hatchling of a young lizard folk, Lionel, you know that is no easy feat.
Yeah. I just kind of look at him as my smile kind of disappears and just go, Jesus fucking Christ. If only I could get him to help me with the bellows in the forge. Or I could go 5 times faster.
Thorn like brushes herself off and like shakes herself out like a dog. That's Corio. He takes after Dad.
Good to know.
So your father then is quite large as well, I suppose. Then.
Bigger than Corio. Probably.
Oh my! Well, that's impressive.
Does your unique coloring come from your mom then?
Mom's green. I need a second. My mom's calling me to say goodnight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mom's green,
Intermission.
but also on the phone.
Yeah. Yup.
I know what you mean.
Welcome to the wonders of DMing.
Yep. That's why you try to limit the amount of detail that you give, so it's less that you have to actually be on point to remember that you gave out for information.
Especially fun when they start to latch on to one character you did too.
Yes, having the recording is super helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, she looks at you and she just goes, "Mom's green."
Huh. Would not have expected that. But, and then when Lionel actually thinks on it, he's like, well, I'm actually weird in my family too, so I shouldn't say anything.
Seems like the dragon's on the move.
I mean, we did kind of expect that. We did have to warn the previous occupants about it.
Yeah, but Thorn's family wouldn't have moved unless it was really serious.
One of the nearby lizard folk. I'm sorry, I'm out of lizard folk names. But
You're fine.
it's a female. She walks up. She says, "There was frost on the outside of the village. That's why we decided to move, so the younglings would be safe. But it didn't feel right just letting Yubaba go without us. So we all decided to come save about 30.
It was a smart decision.
Nothing's more important than keeping family safe.
I agree.
If you
Thorn
sneeze,
agrees.
I'll kill
That is ingrained in lizard folk.
you.
She kind of like taps her chest a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
This part. Family is important.
Indeed. Family is important.
Anyway, now that Thorn knows that they're okay and not, dragon food, we can go. We don't have to stay here.
It's
There's
like
not room for you all to stay here.
I don't I don't think Lionel wants to stay the night here.
Lionel's not going to survive the night if we stay. Because those kids, now that you have said this one turns into a skunk man, it's all done. You know this.
They're
Thorn
eyeing
knew
you.
what she was doing.
It's almost like Thorn has, I don't want to say raised some of these children, but Thorn has, dealt with these children before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should probably go. And I think Lionel kind of says that, relieved to not be the center of attention, but at the same time kind of sad too, in some regards.
Oh, do you want to ask about more people about things? And she looks at Reginald.
Well, I mean, if we had the time, yes, but I don't think we do. So
Why?
it will wait. Well, we should head back, should we not? And if we stay any longer, well, it could become nightfall. We'd be traveling through the darkness. I don't think any of that would be beneficial.
I want an insight check. Is he just trying to leave because he doesn't want to stay here, or is he trying to leave because he actually believes that we should be traveling in the dark?
Roll for it.
Yeah, roll.
Terrible.
Tell her whatever the fuck you want, bud. Never mind.
Wow, you two.
You can tell that Reginald basically wouldn't necessarily mind staying, but he can sense the discomfort among the rest of everyone and doesn't want to impose anything like that.
Okay. She'll kind of
Lay down.
observe him for a minute.
He's probably sensing most of it from Lionel.
Yeah.
Who's kind of sullen.
Thorn's
in all
completely
this.
comfortable here.
Yeah. Lionel is a bit sullen seeing kind of all of this, which is very unlike him.
Yes, your girlfriend is cheating right before your eyes. She's very happy right now.
Yeah.
She's not allowed up there very often.
It's the way she's looking at him as she claims his chest. It's like, mine, pet.
I think with that, Thorn will just kind of start like letting them go back out the way that they were, that they came in. And I think she stops at the gate with two of her brothers, siblings, whatever. Gives them a little bit of a nod. Take good care of you, Baba. Tell her that the speaker will return soon. Gives a little bit of a bow to them.
They both beat their chests. Aye, speaker.
Thorn does it back.
Fair hunting.
And much pray. And she will head her way out. Lead her friends back to the road.
Well, if you beeline it to Van Dalen, you will make it before nightfall. Especially if you follow the ruts that were left by the lizard folk.
Let's say, I imagine Reginald wants to do that.
Yes. Direct path is great.
Phenomenal. Now I can read all the shit that I had written actively.
Look, I'm not sorry, okay? You gave me a hook into more stuff with Thorn's family, and I was going to take it. I was going to take the bait.
Shut up. I loved every second of what just happened, okay? I have so many more fucking... you don't... I've got so much to do. So much to write.
Savage children. That should be the biggest note in your book. Write that down.
Savage children.
Pull out a Reginald.
He's gonna look at that book tomorrow and be like, "What the fuck? Why did I write this?
Why did I write savage children?"
All right. So, because I cannot risk us getting off track again, your arrival to Fandalen goes smoothly. And as you roll up into the town, it is It is becoming dusk. The sun has fully set. The orange in the sky is now very, very distant. It is nightfall. Your arrival back to Fandalin is met with little fanfare. It is later in the evening. The sun has set, and the sky is purple now. Not what I wrote. The tavern lights are a warm glow in the otherwise dimly lit village of Fandalin. The many peoples of the town have seemed to have gathered here this evening, filling Stonehill Inn with a boisterous atmosphere. Your regular attendant, Toblin, is engaged in what seems to be a myriad of tasks and conversations. And as you all enter, he spots you immediately, making eye contact with all three of you, and motions to a nearby table that it seems that he has saved specifically for you all.
I'll be right with you, lads. Have a bit of work ahead of you, so make yourselves comfortable.
He says as he goes about the many full tables and the full bar. You can tell right now he's wishing he hadn't attended.
That's
Consistent.
weird. I think I'll sit down and I'll look at the other two. He gave us a table, and he didn't complain that we're still freeloading.
Well, I mean, do you see the number of bodies in here? This is astounding. What, I thought it was busy, a fortnight ago. Well, goodness.
It's busy, but you have to remember, he did not complain that we are freeloading.
Yes, well, I mean, if you make enough money on the people that are here, I suppose a free room here or there is not so bad, right?
Listen, all I'm
Suspicious.
saying is my luck is never that good.
Well, okay. I suppose I can't argue that point.
As Reginald goes to argue, he thinks he's like, no, I can't actually. I've seen this idiot.
Well, as the group settles in, the myriad of voices seems to wash over you. Reginald and Thorn, you all are able to pick through the din of voices as you sit down and wait for Toblin. Lionel, I'm sorry, bud, but the conversation to you just becomes a dim background noise as you sort of enter your own mind, think about the days past and the things that you have done. For Reginald and Thorn, though, you hear somewhat familiar voices.
I'm telling you, there has to be gold out there, and plenty of it. That old stone lighthouse has been luring ships to a watery grave for months now. Ships are drawn to its gleaming tower like moths to a flame.
So for clarification's sake, this sounds familiar to me. This voice sounds familiar to me. Is it one of the dwarves that we saved from the ruins?
Do you try to source the voices?
Yes.
As your, in particular, ears kind of satellite move over to where you hear that, your head involuntarily looking almost like a cat's. You instantly spot Dazzlin and Norbus deep in their cups at one of the tables in the center of the bar. Dazzlin is going on and on about some sunken ships and some kind of lighthouse. The pair are deep in their cups, as I said, and Norbus so much so that his head's kind of on the table, his arms up, covering his eyes, and he's still got one hand grasping his mug, but he might be out for the count. which is tough for a dwarf, you've learned.
I think Thorn's ears are like going for a minute, and she sees them, and they both kind of like satellite dish in their direction, and she just tugs on Reginald's arm. Found dwarves! Not eaten!
From the excavation site.
Mhm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about treasure.
Well, I mean, that seems to track. They were in the excavation site looking for treasure. It makes, would assume that would be their motive.
No, they're talking about boat treasure. What's a lighthouse?
A boat treasure.
Boat
A
treasure.
lighthouse. See, lighthouse is a structure, right, made for signaling, such that ships will not collide with dangerous or low tides. Shoals, reef, etc.
Why don't they just go around?
Well, have you ever tried to pilot your way through the waves with no light in the
No.
middle of the evening?
No, Thorn can see in the dark.
Oh, well, okay. That is good for you, I suppose. Bad for the people on the ships.
But if I'm piloting the boat, never mind. Thorn gets up and leaves.
Yes, okay. Okay, yes.
No
Thorn's-
notice of this entire conversation on my end. I'm still lost in thought.
Thorn gets up and goes to the dwarves.
They pay you absolutely no mind. Dazzlin, as you approach, is leaning back in his chair, just Norbus, you hear a snore.
Is his cup still on the table?
Yes.
I think Thorn's gonna like give him a little sniff, a little just to make sure he's not dead.
No, he's snoring.
Well, look, you sometimes just gotta check. And she's gonna kind of lean over him a little bit, and she's just gonna like take a couple of laps out of his cup. Just
It's empty.
oh, fuck.
Your tongue juts out and just hits bare wood, slides up it, and you're just disappointed after.
I stick my face in the cup.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a drop down there. They're pretty good about slurping it all down. Gross. But as you're doing that, Dazzlin slams his cup on the table and says, "What do you think you're doing?"
Found dwarves.
Hey, it's from the caves. How are you doing, lass?
Not as drunk as you.
We should fix that. Bartender!
Not as drunk as you.
We're gonna
his
fix
voice
that right now.
carries through the tavern, and Toblin, you hear from in the kitchen, says, "Stop! I'm busy. I'll get to you when I can." All right, bastard.
I waved the other two over.
Huh?
I know, found dwarves.
Do I just
What?
tap him?
Oh.
I just tap him as I stand up.
Huh? Oh, them.
Dwarf friends.
God, they're drunk.
The whole troop is here. How you doing, lads?
Well, not so bad, all things considered.
Well, how about yourselves? You seem to be having fun.
We're broke as can be. Spent that 70 gold all here. You've been gone forever, though.
And he throws his mug back and starts drinking again. But he leans too far and starts to and he crashes to the floor. And he kind of just stays there. And you wonder if he's dead.
Poke him a little bit with my boot.
I go over to his ear and do another little.
The way he fell, The back of his head hit the ground first, and he's just unconscious. But at the sound of the crash, Toblin comes running out. He says, "Please don't break nothing. I can't afford to fix it." Ah, God damn it, not again.
Not dead, not broke.
Yes, thank you, little one. And he walks over to the dwarves, and with a strength he didn't really suspect from the young, I guess, middle-aged, from the human bartender, he lifts Dazzlin up, no problem, puts him back in his chair. Says, "This is the second time this has happened." Well, don't you fret about these ones, little one. Let's get you guys ordered, and I'll be over with you here in a second. I promise. And he ushers you all back to your table, takes your orders if you have anything specific that you're ordering, runs back to the kitchen, and comes back out with a pitcher, 3 mugs, and 3 plates. Sets them down, and he actually sits down with you all. And as he sits down, after serving you all your meal and your drink, he whips out a hefty sack that clinks with gold and drops it on the table. Harbin Wester sends his regards for, and I'm quoting here, dealing with the problems of those inane rock eaters. So, heard you guys did a pretty good job over at Nomengard.
Yeah, we figured out what was going on. Very weird.
It was booby.
Yes.
Booby. Man, I wish I had a. Well, never mind that. Anyway,
It was a mimic of some particular size, I would impose. I've only seen maybe a handful of my times, but it was larger than most.
It
that is
turned into a
terrifying.
moth and it licked me.
Well, I will never trust a moth again.
You're welcome. I don't either.
Harbin, more than sending his regards, also wanted me to let you all know that any inventions you guys came back with that he would like to see and possibly offer you coin for if you're willing to part with them.
Well, inventions. I don't recall any, but well, I don't know. Did we find anything? Was there anything like that you received?
I look up at Lionel. Was that part of the job?
Yes, technically, we got rewarded with some artifacts, relics, and some other knickknacks from them, and I will kind of pull out from my bag the 3 items that we got, which is the 4 items. I pull out the hat, I pull out the amulet, the
It's
pole,
there.
and a wand as well.
Look at him. Rub his belly. Touch his belly.
Good kitty. The only one I could really count as an invention technically is this, and I will point to the amulet, which has a lot of clockwork involved with it.
Toblin looks at you and says, "Wow, this stuff looks mighty fancy there. I apologize. You'll actually have to take this to Harbin Wester himself if you're looking to cash in on it. Uh, I don't really like being the middleman for the man, but
That's fine.
speaking of Harbin, though, he did want me to pass on one message to you all if you all came in tonight. Harbin has a half brother who runs a logging camp out in the Neverwinter Wood. It's a ways off, but every couple of months or so, Barthen sends out a wagon with supplies to support them. I'm sure you can imagine what a target a wagon like that would be to the local brigands, and I mean anything that big traveling around is probably going to attract a dragon of some capacity, right? Well, Harbin wants that wagon delivered by adventurers, and as proof, he just wants a notice of delivery signed by his brother, who is Hybor Wester. Anyway, if y'all are interested, I have that notice here. I can let Harbin know y'all are going.
Did he say how much the right is worth out of curiosity?
100 gold.
I looked the line, all I mean. It's not a bad deal for just a delivery and sign here, thank you document.
You are Lionel. Why are you looking at yourself?
Oh, Reginald, sorry.
Just looks at himself in the mirror.
Yeah,
Starts talking to himself.
I go and find a mirror and I talk to myself.
All right, Lionel, that's a lot of money. Well, yes, I suppose it's a decent amount. Yes. I mean, I'm not opposed. I suppose any little side journey is a potential source for further learning, and maybe even something to get us on the trail of the dragon.
We'll need money to prepare.
But we do need a lot of money. As Lionel looks and just looks at his very meager coin purse.
Well, I guess my part and my deliveries have been done. Being that y'all have done a few things for Harbin already, he's asked that I extend your stay here on his dime. So you all will have free room and board and meals paid for by Mr. Wester himself. He's hopeful, at least he tells me, that y'all will be the ones to take down this dragon threat and hopefully deal with them orcs that got driven out. So, but who knows? It'd be pretty cool if I was housing the latest heroes, though.
At the mention of the orcs, Thorn smacks her lips loudly.
Lionel just kind of gags a little
Got a
bit.
taste.
We appreciate your hospitality, Toblin.
Yes, thank you. It's appreciated.
Did we get food already?
Yeah.
Yep. He brought out a plate. for each of us.
Thorn is just sitting there, like, stuffing her face as she says it.
He's learned your appetite and brought you thirds.
Yes!
As he finishes his or takes your compliments and your thanks, he pulls out 3 keys and says, "Now I don't know if it was important or all, but since y'all have been staying a while, I figure I went ahead and put locks on your doors, so you can feel free to leave anything that you need to leave here. I'll make sure it gets taken care of."
Thank you.
And passes each one of you a key to your respective rooms.
Yay.
Whee!
We got our own apartment.
We got dibs.
Single bedroom.
Well, I'm sure several cups have run dry by judging by the raucous roars going on, so I'm gonna go see if I can't tame those before another fight breaks out. I'd be much obliged if you see some fists going that you make sure nothing breaks. Be doing me a favor. Now, with that, he stands up and he goes around filling drinks and delivering meals and otherwise making conversation with the locals.
I think before Lionel digs into the food, he will, because Toblin left the coin purse that he brought over with him, I take it, yeah?
Yes.
Lionel will take a look in there and see how much there is to divide it evenly between us.
50 gold pieces.
Okay.
Yeah, divide that 3 ways, motherfucker.
Boom.
16 gold and like 6 silver apiece.
It's all gold, so
Yeah.
Just round up and take whatever's higher, so it's even. Because Thorn has quite a bit of money, so.
Mm-hmm. Okie doke.
Thorn is not alone in that department.
I need to subtract my 2 gold, 5 silver, and 2 copper.
So I'm pretty sure Lionel has the least amount of money between you two.
well, if Thorn has more gold than you, then yes, Reginald will never be a question, I promise.
Yep. Lionel is well aware of this.
As the DM, I'm kind of in charge of Reginald's gold.
Excuse me, DM, how much gold do I have? Oh, that's much. Thank you, Father.
That's not even really how much do I have. It's yeah, we can cover that.
It's hey, Daddy DM, can I have some money?
Daddy,
Please.
Daddy, I need to go shopping.
Please, bat's eyes.
Well, the evening is yours to either turn in or shoot the shit or go exploring the nightlife that is fanned out.
I think while we're eating, Lionel will take a look at these different items that we got and kind of play around and experiment with them a little bit, since this is a little bit more in his wheelhouse for how he likes to futz around with things.
That's
So I think he'll be doing that while he occasionally eats something.
let me just get you the descriptions. Probably starting with the one that actually catches your eye. That is for the amulet. It is a clockwork amulet.
Okay, that's neat. Lionel definitely takes it as he's looking at all this clockwork and puts it up to his ears as he sees the gears move, and he just kind of smiles and he opens it to see the inner workings of it going on. And then he'll put it down after he's satisfied and then move on to the next one.
A pole of collapsing. Extremely useful.
So he'll have this 10-foot pole and he'll kind of like turn it around and swing it and try and be as careful as he can with all the different patrons. Occasionally bump it into one or two of them, I'm sure. And then he'll figure out how to collapse it and kind of like put it back down again.
All right. So you got the
Mhm.
amulet, you have the pole, you have the hat of wizardry, and a fully charged wand of pyrotechnics.
Neat. I think after he kind of explores and he's able to kind of figure out what everything does, what he'll do, then afterwards, when looking at all these, he'll not necessarily divvy them up per se, but he kind of pushes like the hat and the wand towards Reginald a bit. And kind of just says, you might like these. And he'll look at the pole and the amulet, and he's like looking between the two and studying them, and he doesn't even look up, and he just says, Thorn, do you want to hit things more, or do you want to be really tall and really short for standing on something?
What?
Yeah, I think Thorn looks at you and that exact word comes out of her mouth. Like she's just like sitting there shoving shit in her mouth and she hears you say her name and her ears like flip that way and she just kind of like looks at you and goes, "What?"
You want to hit things real good or hit things real far away?
She looks very indignant. Thorn already hits things good and far away. I have this now. And she takes her crossbow out.
Remember she bought that?
Yeah, I do.
The staff is not actually a weapon.
I know. No,
Thorn
I
could
know.
make it a weapon.
Anything's a weapon if you're brave enough.
Yeah. I
Accurate.
think Lionel, thinking about it quickly, then slides the pole towards Thorns, and it just says, "The extending command word is blah. The retracting command word is blah. Whatever you want them to be."
Blah and Halb.
And then I think he will have the amulet and look it over for a little bit still. And while he's fascinated by this, he decides that this they should at least trade to Wester.
Really? That one and not the pole? All right, man.
Yeah. This is what, because Lionel does well with mechanical things and is a smith. He understands that this one was made with a lot of craftsmanship, so he can probably get the most money out of Wester for this one's.
That's fair. Clockwork shit is really intricate.
Toblin would have made it clear that it is a flat price for whatever you give Urban. 50 gold.
Oh, 50 gold per item?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. If Toblin makes that clear, then after remembering that, Lionel goes, "Wait a minute," and flips it around and and reslides the amulet towards Thorn. "Here, this will serve you better." And then just takes the pole and is like, "Okay, we're gonna sell this."
Thorn is like now a little bit upset that her stick has been taken away from her. And she like looks at the amulet and she just like picks it up and like starts to chew on it a little bit.
It's not good. It tastes good. Made of metal. Listen to it though. Sounds like a clock.
I don't know that Thorn would have ever actually heard of that.
I was sitting here thinking about it. I was like, I don't think Thorn knows what a clock is.
I don't think Lionel's processing that right now. He's just trying to get her to stop chewing on it.
She'll stop and
Good
she'll
luck.
listen to it for a second. Sounds like those stupid birds that Thorn eats in the morning. They sit on the trees and they go tuck 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 tuck. So Thorn eats them.
Not
Morning
like-
birds, yeah.
Not like those birds. Amulet helps make sure when you really want to hit something, you should really hit something.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
All right. Sounds like loot has been divvied up, gold divided, and meals consumed. What does the night hold for you all?
For Reginald, not a ton. Basically
bed.
just journaling. Journaling a lot.
This is God. Go to bed.
Going to bed. Thanks, Dad.
I'm curious what Reginald writes in his journal tonight.
Tonight it's gonna essentially be met a community of lizard folk today. Big and small. You know, fearful, but they were welcoming.
nothing like what the books led me to believe.
Right. Different than as I had read. However, clearly, if the need arises, they are more than up to the task. But essentially, just kind of like, I guess, not really like not really like he's describing, like he can tell that the picture has been painted in a unfair light or in like a different way than it actually is in reality. But he calls into question perhaps that further analysis and study has to be done to ensure that correct fact keeping is being made and published on the subject.
Where is that amulet that you found? Do you wear it, or is it in a bag?
The one you gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Is it equipped in my sheet? Bard book, small penknife quill. No, I have the hat of wizardry. It's just in my backpack right now. Yeah, it's not equipped.
Okay.
Thank you.
While you're writing and journaling, you near the end of what you're writing, uh, necessarily casting doubt on the things that you know or have read or the knowledge of House Fortno, but maybe just slightly questioning it, maybe wondering if you can better it, maybe wondering what else is different from the books that you've read. While you wonder, though, you get the sudden uh, impression that you are being watched. Like somebody is staring hard at you. Uh, the window is black. Your eyes dart around the room. The hairs on your neck kind of rise a little bit. You kind of go into alert mode. But quickly, after getting up from your spot of writing, the the feeling vanishes and the I'll say the normalcy returns to you.
Am I able to kind of tell if there is any particular locational source of the feeling? Like, did it feel like it was behind me? Did it feel like it was all around me? Like, how did it kind of exist in the feeling?
I think that let's see here. I think that just due to your passive perception, you kind of know, like instinctually, you look at the window, right? That's the source of outside looking in, but you know it's not there. You know there's nothing out there but blackness, the darkness of night, the faint torchlight maybe on the edge of the window. But you're on the second story of Stonehill Inn. For somebody to be looking at you, and you can tell it's a very almost magical presence. Um, it's not coming from the window. So you scan the room and you just don't spot anything beyond that.
All right. I think Reginald would probably try to do his detect magic ritual cast so he can hopefully determine if there's anything in the room with him that potentially was the source.
Very well. Uh, aside from the items on your persons, such as the hat of wizardry and
Mm-hmm.
any other magical items that you may personally have, you notice a light that isn't familiar to you emanating from your bag. And as you move to investigate, you see that its source is that amulet that you picked up off the window a while ago, the
Mm-hmm.
night prior almost. No, give me 1 second. I have to look up detect magic.
It was the Raven amulet, is that correct?
Yes. It
I was just
had.
trying to remember the detail of the artwork that was on it.
I will have to actually get that to you. Hold on, let me write that down. So the amulet was held together via some. It's not hair, it's definitely a type of fur, but it has two fangs that instead of bone white were painted almost a pitch black to shine in the night. Um, apologize. I need to look up detect magic. Does detect magic tell you what school?
Yes.
Yes, it
With enough
is
concentration, yeah.
divination is the school.
All right. Whoop, 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 whoop. You notice that the aura emanating off of this amulet is that of the divination school of magic.
All right, interesting. I suppose I'll just kind of look it over, and obviously I kind of know roughly what it is in terms of like the symbology, but I suppose I know it's got magical properties on it now, but I don't necessarily know what it is that it does, other than, if it feels like someone's looking at me, maybe it's some kind of sight spell or presence kind of thing. So
Go ahead, roll me a intelligence check. Just flat with your bonus.
okay.
You got a plus 5.
I
Fuck
clicked the
off.
wrong one. Well, no, I have +3 for intelligence. The plus 2 is my bonuses for my like investigation and stuff. You said intelligence flat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you already knew that the amulet was from the group sub-faction of the Fortno Knights, and the Fortno Hunters called the Knights Fangs, aptly named, and this amulet being one of their uh, symbols, if you will. But you suspect, because what you remember of the Knights Fangs is that while most of the hunters and the knights of the Fortno name utilize martial prowess over beasts, Knights Fangs were subterfuge and magic. So it's very possible that this is enchanted. The fact that you came across it kind of rings a almost worrisome bell around you, and you're not sure why, because you know that uh, this house, this subfaction, definitely belongs to House Fortno. But as you think about the Night's Fangs, you just get this sense of dread coming over you.
Well, yeah. Tell him. Tell him. Oh, bear got so much fur on me. Oh my god.
Yeah, fucking Nairi did the same. Every time I pet her, it was just dandruff and fur.
Mm-hmm.
But does that complete your activities for the night?
Yeah, I believe so. Completes my evening activities.
Awesome. I'd ask if Lionel was doing anything, but know that he's taking a shit. So,
He's pooping.
does Thorn do anything for the evening?
I think Thorn decides to stay downstairs for a little while and not really people watch, but I guess it would be like the closest equivalent to people watching that a kobold could do. Excuse me, a lizard folk. She's
Hitting.
just kind of like sitting in her booth, and she's got like the food, any food that Reginald or Lionel didn't eat. She's piled onto her plate. She's got a drink, and she's just kind of like sitting there, stuffing her face. Her ears are just on like a constant swivel, and she's just listening and watching for a while.
Is Vandalen Thorn's first human village?
I think it's probably the biggest. I think that she would have encountered humans before and like other races before, just through like the bartering from her tribe. But I think this is her first time like in an actual big city and not just like a group of people.
So, as Thorn's trying to get a modicum of comfort, by eating and, uh, observing, you realize that humans are, when we'll say the civilized races, uh, are nothing like lizard folk. They banter back and forth. They have a good time, but where lizard folk are free with, you know, rubbing up against one each other, shoulder to shoulder, drinking together as if everybody's their friend because in your tribe that's what they are, their family. That's not present here. These invisible walls that you can see. And for a very brief moment, you almost feel like you're boxed in by your own invisible walls. You realize that the two people that you've been closest to for the past week, we'll say, have retired to their bedrooms. You're left downstairs with a dog in between your legs and a box that prevents anybody from really talking to you. Toblin has been grabbed by so many different people, and as sad as it is to say, I almost want to say you feel almost a little bit isolated.
I think that's the best way to describe probably how she would feel because Thorn's always been with the tribe and it's always been friends and family. And now she's kind of without that out in the big wide world all by her little baby lizard folk self.
And as if sensing your isolation, um, Meat Dog, as you've come to call him, who's been scrounging scraps that you've either been throwing at him or haven't made it into your not so quite so wide gullet. Sort of places his head in your small lap and gives a woof to break you from your reverie of staring at people. Um, you haven't really had pets before. Lizard folk don't domesticate unless, you know, it is a symbiotic relationship, I'll say. And for lizard folk, that doesn't happen very often. Meat's meat, and we kill to eat. But something about being near this dog and it, yeah, it senses your emotional state, I'll say. Not that you're depressed or sad or anything, but it sort of lets you know that you're not alone. And that even in a big wide world like this, you got a friend in it. So
I give him a big old pat between the ears and Binks, don't attack the wall. Give him a little pat between the ears, and I think after a few more minutes, she'll do one more hearty sweep of like shoving a bunch of stuff in her face. And then her and Meat Dog will just head upstairs and curl up on the bed and go to bed. Go sleep. Go sleep.
Very well. And thus, the camera pans to Lionel. What is Lionel doing in his room? Don't say baiting.
Something, gum on the hammer.
Right. Gum hammers.
Yeah. No, I think he is. I think having divvied up the loot as best as he could and eaten his fill, he retired to his room probably a little bit after Reginald, kind of leaving Thorn where she is, not disturbing her with her continued eating, and is kind of just reflecting on what has led him here, having seen Thorn and be with her family. It was a bittersweet feeling. He got to kind of see how she interacts, and he very much misses that in a sense, considering everything that he has been through and what happened to him. And while it is nice to see that Thorn has that to go back to, Lionel doesn't necessarily know what he has to go back to, if everything even is going to work out for what he has planned. He's chasing a dream that is literally nothing but smoke and mirrors at this point.
Forgive me for picturing it this way, but I seem to picture Lionel kind of on his back on the bed with his hands, up behind his head, his feet crossed, just laying on the bed thinking about all these things. Not necessarily sad about it, but, like you said, bittersweet with it.
Yeah, and I think maybe in the one hand that isn't behind his head, he has one of those coins that he's found, and he's just moving it back and forth between his hands, or his fingers rather, and it's kind of going over the ridges.
So you're doing that cool little coin flip over your knuckles like a pirate. But as the night drags on and that melancholy feeling kind of grips your heart a little bit more, uh, it kind of lulls you into a weird sleep state where you're awake, you're aware that you're dreaming, but your body is resting. Um, but you have a very vivid dream, uh, an almost familiar one again, of being a raven. A raven with wings as black as midnight, soaring through the sky, and you can tell, and you're not sure why or how you can tell, but you're flying west. And the ground below rolls by quickly, and you feel sad but free, and that melancholy feeling very much permeates how you perceive everything around you. And you're left to thoughts of your family, your siblings, the one closest to you, and how she's drifted away. And uh, you see, you see her very clearly in your mind's eye, and you see your dream for her coming to fruition. And as you see that dream, you hear the clink of coin, and your mind's eye gets replaced. The vision in your mind's eye gets replaced with that of the raven again, and it's flying over Leyland. You may or may not remember, but you briefly went through Leyland. You didn't get a chance to actually explore the town much, but from this bird's eye view, it's very clear that there is a very new and distinct building there. Near the edge of the town on the northern side. And for some reason, you know this is important. and you fly and you circle over Leyland, almost unwillingly. You know that this place is important, but you hate this place. But as the night draws on and the east begins to brighten, midnight fades from black into that beautiful purple and gradients into that brilliant orange. You hear that laugh that's been taunting you this entire journey, the laugh that started your journey. And you wake up to a new day.
Drama.
I love it. Just kind of like taking all of those little vignettes in piece. It's like you guys are both basically living like a Batman character story arc of like isolation and like darkness, and then mine is literally like I'm living out the never-ending story. I'm like reading a book and like all of a sudden I'm transported to a mystical world and I'm like
I'm sorry, I'll do better.
no, I love it. It's great. It's like it's great. It's totally
John over
like
here, as soon as he says
fitting for the
that, don't you
character.
take that away from me.
No, yeah, don't. It's fun.
Well, the day is beginning. The sun is up, and unfortunately for all of you, because of the day's journey yesterday, you all managed to sleep in. The sunrise catching you almost off guard, just like the blood-curdling scream that wakes you all up.
Oh, Jesus.
I thought I killed that rooster.
When I say a blood-curdling scream, I don't actually mean a scream. Although that is what follows, the roar. Y'all chill.
Sorry. Can you please continue?
I'm trying to tell a story here.
We did this.
I put a lot of work into this. Don't you fucking. Fuck.
Yes, upon hearing the roar that comes after it, Thorn is immediately awake. Immediately has her sword and shield and is darting for the door.
It is your chance to act, Lionel and Reginald.
Well, Reginald is not really going to kind of rush his way out so much as he's going to like make sure, look around, collect all of his things, and he's going to give himself mage armor real quick because he's like, that doesn't sound good. Shit's gonna go down, so let's get this fucking on.
Yeah, I think Lionel grabs his armor and let me just I need to take a look at something real quickly because I just got it.
I'm supposed to activate mage armor. Do I just
You
roll it?
Yeah, you should just cast it, and then I think you just
Yeah,
have
but-
to remember.
Right, but like I have my AC, like I just
Right.
13. I don't have any modifier to it.
Yeah,
so.
I think you just have to remember it because it's 13
Okay.
plus whatever your dex
Mhm.
is. Because
Okay.
shield
okay.
works the same way. I think Lionel
Oh,
will
here we go.
get
Okay,
up.
got it.
I think Lionel will get up, go to grab his armor, but stop for a moment and then take his smith tools quickly in hand and spend a couple of seconds kind of going over it to make his armor arcane armor. And he's looking at this as he's kind of doing this and going, this is not going to work, but fuck it.
Lionel,
Mhm.
please roll me a general luck roll.
Okay.
Just roll me a d20.
Yeah. I'm just going to pop the arcane armor description in there for you. Well,
Please add +2 for the sake of this encounter only to your armor class.
Okay.
Just keep it in mind. I don't think there's an actual way to do that on the character sheet.
There is. You
Yeah.
can click
And-
armor class.
Yeah.
There's some
you can-
overrides you can add to it, and you can set a source. And
Yeah,
one of them's
but-
like magical bonus or additional miscellaneous bonus,
But-
or
It's only for this battle, so I'll just remember it versus putting it into the notes.
Really wish there was an easier way for me to port your characters somewhere. Guess I should just start putting you all on every map and attaching your tokens to shit.
I was gonna say because Roll20 doesn't associate our tokens with a particular sheet, does it, Junie? Because the sheet is housed technically in D20 or
the
beyond.
way that you can get it to work, which is maybe a little off track at this point, but literally you drag the token in, set it up, set everything to it, assign the person on it, and then you basically highlight the token and you resave the token onto the character sheet and then delete it and then redrag it out. And the permissions for the token at that point are bound to the sheet. So every time you drag out the token, it's going to carry the us having control and vision and all that stuff that you like set up in that one time, so you don't have to do it every time.
Yeah.
It's just silly because it's like, yeah, I set up the character sheet and dragged the token out that I assigned to it, but it doesn't ever save back any of the changes you make to the token because it's like instance per sheet instead of like carrying that in the character sheet. Instance per page map, I should say, instead of carrying it inside of the character sheet itself.
Yeah. It's
Kinda dumb,
unfortunate.
but
Yeah, it's because our character sheets are housed in Beyond.
Ugh. Okay. Lionel, you should have control of your character.
Yup.
Thorn, you should be good. And
I think I'm good. I was able to move it around, so.
The one up top.
Oh, the one
not
in the one here. Aha. Okay.
Yes.
I was playing with the bigger ones at the bottom that we had for
Yep.
vision.
Me
So.
too. And then I'm like, oh wait.
I forgot I put those on the fucking map.
Yeah.
Covered up. All right, so all three of you rush out of Stonehill Inn. At first, you don't see anything but a panic of people as they rush to and fro, seemingly trying to get away from the center of town, which is to the west. It is this location here, if you can see the ping. Doors get bolted shut. People are screaming. Somebody is pointing up in the air. And as each of your eyes lift up, what you see is lair, token lair.
A big poopy.
A dragon.
Oh.
A big poopy.
Man, someone was really constipated for a long time.
This dragon, Reginald, you recognize as a very young dragon. You also recognize it as a white dragon, and probably the white dragon. Do any of you speak Draconic?
I do.
Hey,
All
look,
three
we
of
all
Oh
do.
wow.
We all
all three of you.
I only got one
That's
other
amazing.
language. I don't think it's gonna come in handy.
I have 4, so you know.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to tell you that some of you just hear guttural growls, and the other of you recognize them as just guttural growls. But all of you recognize this white dragon fly down, and it lands in this courtyard, taking swipes at anybody who dares get close enough, looking for a meal, growling and guttering guttering, whatever, making mean noises, where you would suspect language should be. This is a dragon, after all, but it seems far more bestial than any dragon that any of you have ever heard of. And the moment that it actually spots Thorn, you with your weapon drawn, and Lionel, you shimmering with your armor, and Reginald, you appearing threateningly, it lets out a blast of cold air in your direction. It does not actually perform an attack on you, but I would like
Thank God.
all of you to please roll for initiative.
Hit us with the breath.
That was actually
would be-
Debra.
that would be
It would be
bad.
real bad.
Yeah, that would be bad. All right, there we go, Reginald.
Bad.
There we go, Reginald. Coming in like you're used to, like you're supposed to be as a wizard in your fucking initiative.
Sorry, I have to pull up the sheet for this.
No worries.
All right, so this young white dragon has just landed in front of you, Thorn. It is about 30 feet to the west. I apologize, scale looks a little bit different here, but we're going to play this with theater of the mind. I will do my best. This map isn't actually built for combat in this scenario, however. The dice threw me for a loop yesterday, so here we are.
Thorn is going to just kind of like bring her shield up in front of her, and she's got like a very determined look on her face. I think she just passes her hand kind of over the symbol on on the bottom of the walk, and the symbol kind of like glows a little bit, and Thorn is going to channel divinity. I need the dragon to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Said wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
What is the DC?
11. It's pretty low.
It succeeds.
Okay. Let me make sure I check that off. I don't think I have any bonus actions. I do not. So that's my turn. Thorn's just gonna kind of stand her ground and hang out kind of here, like, you know, in front of her friends a little bit.
Very well. Lionel.
Mm-hmm. This thing's about 30 feet away, you said?
Yes.
I think from where I am at the moment, Lionel is going to kind of, because his armor is leather at the moment. It's studded, so there are kind of like some rivets in there, and some of the rivets and the leather is kind of extended to be over his hand, so he kind of has some gauntlets now there, and he's going to kind of crack them together, and he's going to use his bonus action to activate where is it? Should be my defensive field on my guardian armor, and that is going to give me some temporary hit points equal to my level. So there's kind of like this crackling energy around Lionel, and then he is going to move up 30 feet to kind of get right up in front of this dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing that it's definitely menacing, he is then going to take a swing at it with one of his gauntlets that he now has. And the entire time he's doing this, he isn't really showing. He's putting on a brave face, but in his mind, he's thinking, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, please fucking work!" And does a 24 hit?
Does.
In that case, then he takes 4 thunder damage as my gauntlet connects, and there is a mini like crack of thunder that happens. Yeah. Definitely not quite that momentous. More like and he just he does this, he looks down, this actually worked, and then he looks back up. Oh, it actually worked. And he realizes he has now pissed this thing off.
Surprised you even hit it, bud.
I know, I am too.
With a 24, yeah.
I need you to roll me a luck dice.
Okay. Is it still
Roll me a d20.
Okay.
Fuck.
18.
What did you actually? You rolled a 19 on your actual hit.
Yeah, I rolled super high.
I want you to re-roll your dice damage.
Okay. D8. So I got a. What's my damage again? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like D8.
10 is the reroll.
Jesus.
I can use my intelligence.
Gonna briefly. Actually, would you like to describe what happens here?
I think initially Lionel goes to hit and there isn't as much force behind it, and he just looks up and he's like, oh shit, this wasn't a good idea. And then like a couple of seconds later there's a louder crack of thunder, and he maybe actually splits one of these scales on the dragon. Not necessarily like in a really painful way, but more of in a surprise way to Lionel and probably the dragon also, that this scale now has a crack going through it when it clearly should not have.
This young white dragon, now having been literally decked by magic gauntlets from this tiny human, so crushable. If a dragon could show shock on its face, especially one as savage as a white dragon, that would be what you would see. Instead, however, you see rage. This dragon is stunned, but instead of that normal, you see.
I think Lionel just says very quietly in Draconic and very sloppily, oh shit.
It actually beats its wings, lifting itself off the ground, and says down to you, "You will pay," before flying off.
Good thing you got all that gold.
Because you're gonna fucking need it to live.
Congratulations on successfully driving away. the dragon.
Mr. One Punch Man himself.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say Thorn like walks over to Lionel and like gives him a big pat on the back. Like reaches up, pats him. That was real good.
you go to pat our dear Lionel here and are shocked immediately. This giant bolt of static lightning jumping to you before you manage to connect and almost launching your hand back. Lionel, you feel exhausted.
I think Lionel, his knees immediately kind of buckle from underneath him. He just lands on his ass. And he's just like,
All of you
Jesus Christ.
feel the dread that the dragon was probably inflicting on you sort of lift as the dragon ascends and flies off. Lionel, however, its words ring in your mind. You know that it intends to exact a vengeance on you. Reginald, I apologize that you did not get a turn this go around. I was not
Hey, that's
expecting.
fine.
I was not expecting that first roll to go as well as it did for Lionel.
There, don't worry.
This is kind of the downside of me trying to create mechanics for you all, is that sometimes I'm
Mhm.
gonna jip other people out of time on Spotlight. I do apologize
That's totally
for
fine.
I
You
will.
don't worry about it.
that. I will try to make it more inclusive there. But you all just drove off a dragon. I want you all. I don't know how to use inspiration, but and I don't actually really like inspiration because I always forget it's a fucking thing. But I'm gonna try to remember this. So if y'all can just click that little inspiration thing,
Cool.
add that to your character sheets.
Yay.
If I remember right, inspiration just allows you to redo a roll. It's kind of like a
Mhm.
luck dice.
Yes,
Is that
it's
right?
exactly
Yeah.
like a luck dice.
Okay.
And it's
It's
just
on
there
us.
permanently until you use it.
Yeah, it's on us to remember to use it and to inform you we're going to use it before you reveal a result to us.
Very well. Lionel,
Mhm.
you are exhausted.
Okay.
What just happened to you, I'll explain to you after the session.
Okay.
So that way, it's only for you to know and for you to share if you choose to.
Mm-hmm. Where is it? Restrained, poison, prone, invisible.
But
Oh.
um,
I was gonna say, do you want just one level of it? Because there's multiple levels. 6, I'm dead.
you have one level of exhaustion.
Okay. Thank you.
Having watched this unfold, you all realize that Toblin has stepped out of his inn, brandishing a great sword and no armor. In fact, he is shirtless with what looks like blueberry juice over his face.
And his morning juice on.
And he's like, he watched this whole thing and he's like, Did you just punch that dragon?
Yeah.
I'm housing heroes. I'm housing heroes. And he walks back inside. And that's like all he says on repeat as he's like just goes about it. People
Hey.
eventually start filtering out and all cheering you like you're being hailed right now as heroes for driving off the dragon.
I think Lionel not getting up from where he is and still kind of breathing hard because he's exhausted. Hey, Reginald, how good are
Yeah?
dragons at keeping their words?
Oh, that's Well, they're very, very good at it. And, because they live so long, well, let's just say that they pretty much never break their word.
Great.
It's okay. We're gonna kill it and eat it anyway.
Let's hope we do it before it kills me.
I don't know. Thorn doesn't know. If you keep punching like that, it'll be okay.
I don't
you
know if
know.
I got that.
I think she kind of like leans over him and is like looking at him upside down, And
Yeah.
she's just kind of like staring at him and talking. Can you do more of that?
At the moment, hell no.
Gotta work on your stamina. Do lots of jumping jacks.
I think he's thinking, I have plenty of stamina, but this is bullshit.
Thorn can take you back to the kids.
Oh, jeez.
Don't threaten me.
As you all are talking, a crowd has formed around you, and people are clapping and cheering, but there are some dissenters there that are saying, "What if it comes back? Are you going to kill it?" They're demanding your action almost, a very small group of them. Before it's Hoblin, now shirt on, and the blueberries smeared down his face as he tried to wipe it off. And he's like,
Hey, now, you leave these people alone. They did their job. They defended us. You all get.
The group seems to listen to the we won't call him the leader of Fandalin because there's a mayor for that, but the actual leader of Fandalin.
The heart and soul.
Speaking of the leader, Harbin Wester stands before you all, bone white, fearful, staring at you. You all can do it. You all can defeat the dragon. He says with utter disbelief in his tone.
You look how I feel right now. So maybe?
I was ready to run. It was just this dread over me. I heard it roar and you just punched it. And he's just in utter disbelief right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't run. Have to take a stand.
This shit
Can't-
ain't worth standing for.
Can't run. Legs won't work at the moment.
Not you. At his words, Thorn kind of frowns a little bit. Town is worth fighting for. People worth fighting for. Stronger if you stand together. Like us. And she dogpiles on top of Lionel.
Oh, she has a point. Families live here. Can't just abandon them.
Yes, I can, but I won't. That being said, the town owes you its thanks, and being its elected leader. I know, surprising, right? It falls to me to deliver that. So, thank you. I'd like to ask you to keep going. If you all plan to fight this dragon, we'll do what we can to support. But speaking of the town and its people, there are other people around here that need help. Like my brother. Well, half brother. Did Doblin talk to you all last night?
I look at Toblin and I kind of quietly go, wow, this guy's terrible. Not loud enough that Harbin can hear her.
Toblin he sighs, but he like nods and kind of shrugs, like, yeah, but he pays the bills, so.
We were gonna come find you this morning, but the rooster woke us up.
Just gonna equate this thing to chicken now. All
Spell
she's gonna
pronoun.
do.
It's just big, tough chicken. Like it flies, it makes loud noises. It's just a chicken.
If I remember right, don't whites have a little thing under their chin too? Whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe.
I don't remember. It depends on the design and what dragon it is. All dragons are like special little snowflakes to themselves.
We were gonna come find you this morning, and then the rooster woke us up.
Yes, well. So, what is your intent then? To lay this out succinctly for you all have two options. Two paths ahead of you. You can investigate this lighthouse that the dwarves mentioned, or you can move north into the loggers' camp. One will provide more treasure than the other one will progress story. One quest has a little exclamation point on the bottom of it. The other one is just the quest.
It's got the little, blue purple background.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would say,
That one's got the blue background. The other one's just yellow. Lionel doesn't know about the other one with the lighthouse because he didn't hear any of that conversation.
You both were dragged over to Thorn. Oh, well,
Yeah, but
I guess
Thorn only told
Reginald
about it.
I was lost in my own little world during that.
Yeah.
So.
What?
Thorn will pointedly kind of like look to Reginald. Just being like, I don't know, what are we doing, boss?
Well, having slept on it and thought it through, I believe we probably should head to the loggers' camp.
Harbin looks relieved. He's like, I was hoping you would say that. If that is the case, I have supplied Barthen with the needed document for you to get my half-brother Tybor to sign. Barthen is also readying the wagon, so as soon as you all are ready, you can head over to Barthen's and he will set you on your way. Again, thank you. If you come back from this, or when you come back from this, you all just fought a dragon and lived. Why am I worried about you all coming back or not? When you all return from this, I will double the reward.
Well, that is quite gracious. Thank you. I suppose we will get some breakfast, perhaps, and then see to this preparation.
Breakfast. Thorn like scrabbles off of off of Lionel and just like does that. She does a really weird, like, you know how skinks run when they're really fast, where they're just like really low to the ground and their little legs just go? That's what she's doing to go back inside to go get food.
Oh, glad I have the armor.
Tomlin reaches down and lifts you up, Lionel, as best as he can, and says, yeah, breakfast sounds great after a fight like that. Come on, fellas, let's get you guys dressed and ready to go.
Agreed.
So,
The dragon has been driven off, and you all are about to go eat. Your morning, thus far, consists of just that. Uh, before you all are properly kitted out from your bedrooms after your wonderful beer and breakfast, and you head up to Barthen's Provisions, where that crotchety old man and his attendant, oh, what was his name? Anders? Anders.
Mhm.
uh, are busy setting up a wagon, and Anders is just droning on about the scales and the size of the wings. And did you see it breathe? It was ice, and there's still frost on the ground. And Barthen is just done with this little boy. He
I think
sees you all, and I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think if we hear Andrews going on and on about it, Lionel's just remembering all this and going, yeah, I almost became a popsicle, and just replaying all this and all that could have gone wrong and should have gone wrong.
Seeing you all approach, Barthen immediately beelines towards Reginald.
Ah, Harbin told me you all were coming. That's about time you all showed up. The cart's ready to go. We're just dragging the ox and harnessing it. You all know where you're going?
What's an ox?
What? What? What?
Big four-legged creature used to primarily drag carts along the road to make travel easier. Has horns.
You know
Generally
what a water
really
buffalo
strong.
is, so when you see it, it's kind of like that. Um, he leads you all over to the cart and furnishes you all with a map. And on that map is the loggers' camp. And it is forever and a day away. Give me one moment while I remember how to do this and get you all situated.
Skibidi toilet.
Ellipsy. Skibbity toilet.
Skibbity up toilet.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of a trip.
Yeah.
Plenty of shenaniganery to have along the way.
All right. So,
Oh boy. So, you'll be traveling up north. I recommend that you skirt the edge of the forest until you hit that river uh, and just follow it east. The loggers at the camp usually use that to send the wood that they gather down to Neverwinter, but it's probably the easiest way to follow them. But you're looking at least 2 days worth of travel, so be safe out there, especially after what we just saw.
Don't worry, if the dragon comes back down, we'll have Lionel punch it again.
Yeah. Sure.
in the back of the cart that's being pulled by this wagon are two crates. One of them is labeled foodstuffs, and the other one is labeled drink.
Drank.
Yeah.
Right.
2 heavy crates are loaded on a 2-wheeled cart pulled by an ox. The ox's name is Vincent.
Thorn is immediately enamored. She realizes she can't eat this thing because they need it. But I do think that she like rides on it any opportunity that she can.
Additionally, while on the map, you see a second location over there labeled Falcon's Hunting Lodge. And Barthen points it out, stating that you go there and buy a bottle of fine wine.
Is that like code for something?
We just like punched a dragon, and now we're gonna go save some people at a loggers camp, and now this dude wants us to make a wine run.
I'm sorry, I misread that.
Okay.
He points there and says, if you plan to go to the lodge, then I suggest you bring a bottle of wine for the lodge keeper there. He's quite fond of the wine that we have down here, so anything to wet his throat up there, they don't get as much as Toblin sells, so.
Gotcha. So are we taking the Tribor Trail then, or are we going through the high road?
We're going west around the
Forest.
skirting the edge of the forest.
Yeah, so we're going along the Tribor Trail. Okay. Or,
Well, like this.
yeah.
I don't know if we're really going to be on the road per se all that much, but
No.
I mean, if we were to follow the trail to the west and then stay on the high road going up, we'd just be in Neverwinter, and then have to follow the river east would be a little out of the way.
Right.
If we're gonna be
I think
roughing it.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more like we're gonna like stay near the high road and then veer off, or were we gonna go like east and then go all the way through the forest? That's what I was checking because he pointed out the
I
Hunter's
see.
Lodge.
Yep.
It's like
You could do either. You can head northeast and then cut into Neverwinter Wood and follow the river, hitting the Falcon's Lodge and then the Loggers Camp. Or you can head straight north and go to the river and follow the river east. Or yes, you can do that squiggly thing through the woods.
I figured that was a good representation of the possibility.
yeah.
Thank you. But as much as I hate to do this, that is a decision to be talked about and made next session.
Woo!
Or
Yeah,
All
between
good.
Colt got to punch a dragon.
I
Colt
did.
punched a dragon.
I'm honestly surprised it worked. I was expecting to roll a 1. Instead, I rolled really high, and now this thing is going to murder me the next time it sees us.
You're not even a monk.
No. That's what my ability does. I have 2 modes, Guardian and Infiltrator. I didn't want to be Iron Man.